going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your guy, Sirr Love, and we got another episode of Chasing Greatness. I'm super excited to really crack off this episode. I just sent a text message blast out to the community, letting the community know that I will be doing random calls. That's how this goes. We do random phone calls, all right? On Chasing Greatness, I'll send out a blast. If you get the blast, I'll tell you the time that I'm reaching out to people. You send me your question. And of course, I'm going to be calling individuals at random to have some quick conversations about the music business and their concerns and whatnot. Remember, you can always check us out at www.phasevi.com. Again, PHASEVI, Phase6.com, to get more information, to learn more about the music business, to get access to more resources, as we are a vehicle to help individuals win. And we're just gonna get it started. We're just gonna jump into it. So I'm going to reach out to someone that responded back relatively quickly, named Dimitri. Dimitri is out of Everett, Maryland. So I'm getting ready to reach out to Dimitri. Dimitri says, what's the best way for a person to get their foot or at least wet in the publishing game? Right? Let's have this conversation. I'm getting ready to reach out to him right now. Let's give him a ring. Let's give him a ring. Mobile line. Here we go.
Oh shit, this is Sirr Love. What's cracking, player?
What's going on, Dimitri? How you feeling, my guy?
I'm cooling, bro. I'm cooling. Hey, first off, bro, you're a legend. Second off, I'm very happy to see you getting back to it, bro. I've been a big fan of yours, I think for like 2, maybe 3 years now. About a couple of your stuff has actually helped me in my career. And 3, yeah, bro, I appreciate you for picking my question.
Hey, man, for sure, man. I appreciate the love and the energy, my guy. I really do. I want to make sure. Can you hear me clearly? I'm running a different setup today. Do I sound clear?
Yeah, you sound good.
All right, perfect. So we're going to jump into it, right? Because I want to talk to as many people as I can, and I want to give your question the energy and love it deserves, right? So pretty much what I gather from your question is you're trying to understand, how does one get started in the publishing game, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you want to elaborate on it? Tell me where you are right now.
Pretty much, I'm an artist. I'm an independent artist. Things are getting a little bit better with me in the sense of like I got a little distribution deal going on, so my music will be spread out, all that good shit. But I wonder, like 10 years from now, right? If I wanted to get more on the executive side, I always wondered, like I've been like looking at that story of how like Michael Jackson owned like the Beatles catalog and like half of Sony ATV7, and I always wondered, like how do people even start to get into publishing? Like, how does that even work?
You talking at the big level. You got that? I'm assuming you got that from the info pack that I put together, or did you read?
Yeah, that. And
okay.
Just reading along, like I just never understood. Like I always hear stories of people doing publishing at like big levels, but I never heard about it at like a small scale.
Oh, bet. Well, perfect. I know I'm getting ready to have a guest on the show. Not today, but there's going to be a guest on the show where we're going to actually talk about publishing. I'm going to be bringing on not a small and big level. I'm going to be bringing on a music supervisor that actually picks records for movies and games and such. I'm going to be bringing on someone that actually places the music in the film, and I'm actually going to be bringing on a music licenser, and then another individual that actually does the publishing, that does publishing admin. So it's
I'm trying to get that type of paper, bro.
Oh yeah,
that's the type of paper I'm trying to get.
I'm gonna make sure I re-ask this question to them, so they're gonna give you a more intricate answer. But I'm gonna give you the answer just from the ways that we've done it, right? And ways that I've seen it done, and paperwork that I've helped other people do. So if you're trying to get your feet wet in publishing, first recognize that you're already in publishing. The moment you do a record, you own publishing on that record, right? Okay. So just like you own a record, you own publishing. Now, if you don't work your record don't move, right? If you don't get out there, promote it, do videos, is that your record don't move. Well, if you don't work your publishing don't move either. That's a whole completely other side of the business. So from a publishing perspective, you have to be reaching out to music supervisors. You have to be submitting it to various different catalogs and libraries for your music to be selected, right? Like Viacom, for example, has a library. There's other organizations that can help put your music in various different libraries. They'll say that they'll want a percentage of whatever your all of them will want a different percentage of the publishing itself in order for shopping it, and all of them have different deals, but there are various different platforms that will allow you to pretty much aggregate your music, similar to what aggregator does with playlisting. They have similar vehicles in the publishing world that can help get you in the proper catalogs so that your music can be selected. So for example, a producer that I manage that's going to be on the show, she's also a sound engineer for, I'm not sure how much I can sell, I'll wait till she gets on here, but for various different studio houses, right? From Tyler Perry to Nickelodeon to all sorts of shit. And when she's on these platforms, she goes to a library that's and goes through, and she can pick any record because all those records have been pre-approved, all the splits are confirmed, the paperwork is done, everything is straight, which allows her to move forward with any record without any additional approval because everything's pre-approved. So you want to be in that type of space, all right? Again, this comes from you speaking to music licensors, right? Music supervisors, right? Using online aggregators that can get you into these environments and these spaces. And then, getting out there and working the record. Like if you're online and looking at showcases and stuff, publishing companies have showcases. I met a real good music licensor at his own showcase. I was looking for a licensing deal for an artist I was working with. I wanted to make some new relationships for a particular project. I was looking online. I think I was looking at Creative Loafing's website in Atlanta, found a music licensor that was throwing a showcase, went to the event. It was nothing but songwriters, producers that are trying to get them music in movies and video games. It's a completely different hustle. They have no interest in getting on radio, no interest in shopping into artists. It's a completely different hustle. Yeah. So if you want to get into that game, you just need to start investing the time. So just like you go to an A&R, you got to go to a music supervisor. Just like you go to, a dude that knows the A&R, you go to a music licensor. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different people that you want to go to and attack. And the moment you open your mind up and start looking up these things, you'll start seeing events in your area or opportunities in your area that you can start taking advantage of, or things that are close. Because I know, in your particular area, there may not be a lot of music festivities, but there may be something close that you can get to, by, via vehicle or something like that.
Yeah, word.
You know what I'm
saying? Right. Absolutely.
So I hope that answers the question, but that would be my first step. And also remember that you do want to make sure you do your ASCAP and BMI and make sure that you're registered and all that, because you can't even play the publishing game unless you've been registered and your paperwork's right. Because in the music business, or in the publishing side of business, music is last, right? Like in movies and video games and all that, they think about music often last, unless it's like a time period piece or it's a special piece where the music has to be unique. And because of that, the budget for music always gets cut because it's the last available budget. So they're always cutting for it to do more shots, get better actors, more explosives, whatever they're trying to do for film. And then when it finally comes to the music, normally films are running behind, game delivery is running behind. So when they actually get to putting the music in, it's always last minute. At least it feels like it's always last minute. And because it's always last minute, no one has time for you to get your paperwork right. No one has time for you to get your splits. Either you got it or you don't. And that's typically how it works. So make sure you do that piece right there.
For sure. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. No problem, my guy. I really appreciate you being a supporter. I really appreciate you watching the channel, man. I'm glad I got to touch bases with you. Hopefully we'll get the opportunity to chat again. I'll be sending out these blasts again. I'm going to reach out to a couple more cats to see if I can answer some more questions, man. But I appreciate your energy, my guy.
No doubt, man. Do your thing. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care.
Peace.
Boom. All right. I hope everyone benefited off that information, right? There's a lot of vehicles available to get money in this space, and I don't want to go rattling everything out because I really want to leave some space for the guests that I just mentioned are going to be on the show. There are various different platforms, there are various different strategies, and I don't want to steal their thunder because those interviews are like right around the corner, right? So please stay tuned, but that is enough information for you to get started. I promise you, with that information there, you can get online and start finding the proper resources that you need to find in order to navigate and move forward, all right? All right, it says, hey, sir, thanks for reaching out. Awesome. My question to you, with COVID being something that has impacted the world and social distancing being a new normal, do you think beginner managers still have the opportunity to make a name for themselves? Do they still have an opportunity to make a name for themselves? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Let's reach out to Nicole. Something tells me I reached out to Nicole before. I may not have labeled her as someone we've reached out to. I may have to go back and fix that. Let's see. Maybe I haven't. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, Nicole.
Hey, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. You know, I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like me and you had a conversation on the podcast already. Have we spoken before?
Not on the podcast, no.
No, not on the podcast. All right, you sound so familiar. I feel like we've had a conversation in the past, did we not?
Yeah, we did. We had a conversation before in the past.
Okay.
About a year ago.
Got it. How's everything going?
It's going well. How are you?
I am good. I'm getting ready to come out of the ashes. You know, I just had a kid, and as you know, based off your question, COVID hit, and so I wanted to bunker down. Had a kid, got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I took my time to live life. I was working really, really, really hard, and it came up to, you know, a couple weeks before my wedding, and I realized I hadn't even stopped and thought about it. Like, hold up, I'm getting married. What does that mean? So I took some time and just did the family thing, but and then took, you know, the opportunity to jump into other business ventures that just kind of panned out really well. So now I'm really excited to come back and have these types of conversations. I've really missed this, and so your question is an interesting question. I guess what sparked the question for you? Do you have a fear that that management is going to completely transition some way due to the pandemic?
Yeah, like when I first started, I had just when I connected with you last year around this time, I had just started my management company. So it hit pretty quickly after that. That was in September of last year. And, you know, January, COVID happened. And it really affected the way that I could do my business with my artists. So I had to end up taking my business from music management to music marketing management. And I wanted to see, like, what you thought about it and your thoughts because of COVID.
Yeah, so what I was saying, because I started answering your question, but, you know, when you didn't pick up the first time, I didn't catch you. It was playing a little phone tag there. But as long as, and I'll repeat what I said, as long as people exist on this planet, there will always be a musician making music somewhere. We will take sticks and a rock and make music with it. We will take the scraps of anything and make drums and guitars and banjos and whatever else that we're going to make music. There will always be music. And since there will always be music, there will always be space for someone to promote the person that is making the music. The question is, from a manager perspective, is will it be lucrative to do so? Right? A lot of artists, they really slowed down. They took a lot of hits. I know a lot of artists that were really, really hurting, not even really are really, really hurting right now because they didn't do the proper financial planning and they are unable to tour right now. And artists make most of their money from touring. And if you make your money from artists, then you make most of your money off of the touring and merchandise that they're doing. I just think that this is a time period to be creative, right? Artists can still make money off the music. Artists can still go direct sale. Artists can still do merchandising. Artists can still get real creative with content. Right now is a time period where not only are people at home, I mean, all the artists at home, but the people are at home. And the people are looking to be entertained in new ways. And there's a lot of opportunity to get into the product space. There's a lot of opportunity to expand your merchandise game. And all of these initiatives are business initiatives that the manager benefits off of. Depending on your structure with the artist, you know, if you have some type of partnership with the artist, then you're really going to benefit from a lot of these deals all the way around anyway. And I think that's really the key. So as you mentioned, hey, I'm transitioning into marketing. Well, if you're doing marketing, you're doing it one of two ways. You're either doing it as a service provider, saying, hey, artist or whoever, pay me in exchange for helping you generate impressions or whatever value that you're going to help them create. Or you're saying, I am a manager that focuses on marketing initiatives to drive revenue, and then I get a percentage of the revenue that I drive, which is more of a sales-oriented perspective or swing on marketing. Your strategy on that really depends or should depend on how vested you are with the client. If you've already been rocking with the client for an extended period of time, then the second option is probably more appealing. It should probably be the direction that you're going. But if you have not established yourself as a manager, have not established any real relationship with the clients you're working with, then, freelancing your marketing services on the side may not be a bad idea to generate revenue. But as a manager, remember, I'm not sure if you got a chance to read the How to Be a Manager 101 joint that I did, but you got to be a jack of all trades. There's a section in there where I just break down like almost a paragraph of stuff that you have to know, like different industries and verticals you have to know just to survive, because you're going to have business thrown at you from every direction. If your artist is truly viable, it's time to start taking advantage of some of those opportunities that are being thrown at you so you can capitalize on them and generate more revenue. If your artist is not viable, they're not popping, they're not making no money. You mentioned that you're new. Your artist is not popping, they're not making no money, there's nothing to generate here. If the market was open or if the market was closed, you're still not going to be generating money. You're just going to have the thrill of the game. And right now there's no thrill of the game because you can't move. Right? And so at this stage of your career, as a manager, you have got to create a methodology for you to generate capital that has nothing to do with the artist. That's just a part of it. The artist has to do the same thing, right? Until you get to the point where there's revenue coming in, right? If you're a manager, you're getting 20%, put it in perspective. If the artist is making $100,000 a year, which if you're starting from zero, you know how difficult it could be to make $100,000 a year. You're only making 20.
Right, and I can't eat off of that at all.
The struggle is real. So, like, even if you do start breaking and popping off and things of that nature, you still need some other sources of income. This is why managers have multiple artists. This is why managers often push and promote their artists to do, unfavorable deals, right? While the manager will say, yo, you should sign that publishing deal because that publishing deal is $1 million check and I'm going to get $200,000. I've been hurting for a long time. I need to get paid. Managers will push their artists into a lot of situations just because they're not eating, Artists will turn down shows that you're betting on to pay your rent. Artists will turn down label deals that could change your life. So whenever you tie yourself to an artist, you know that you're tying your life to someone else's decision. So make sure you make the right decision with the artist. But again, as a manager, early stages, don't depend on the artist for your success unless you have a partnership. Right? There's a lot of artists that do 50-50 partnerships with their managers, and they both go into the deal saying we're partners. We own this together, and we pay our expenses and split this down the middle, or we split this 60-40 or whatever way they split it, because they're both vested. The manager's putting in money, the artist is putting in money, and it takes two to be successful. And honestly, I think that's a beautiful way to do it.
Okay.
So
you think that 50 is the best way to go?
In my opinion, I think a partnership deal with your artist is where you want to be. Unless the artist has extreme leverage over you. If the artist has a lot of leverage, then obviously you're not coming in doing that type of deal. But at this level, you're doing everything. You're pretty much, you're their partner. You're both trying to build the business together. The artist is making money off of record sales. You're making money off record sales. You're both doing everything together. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jason Jeter and T.I. did that. I believe Chance the Rapper and his manager did it that way. Rockefeller was known for giving all their artists deals that were structured that way. It's not a foreign concept at all. Right? Okay. It's not a foreign concept for record labels to do it. It's not a foreign concept for managers to do it. It's about, do you want to build a company together and be partners, or do you want to be the manager? And if you're going to be the manager, there has to be something to manage. If there's nothing to manage, then you're wasting your time, right? Because if you're the manager, but then you're also the investor, and then you're also the booking agent, and you're also the lawyer, and you're also hold up. You're doing way more than manager duties and only getting manager compensation.
Right. That's true.
So, and then artists expect all that. Artists, in an artist's mind, you're a manager. Your job is to make me famous. That's all they know, right? They don't necessarily understand the role. So setting expectations at the beginning is really important, and letting the artist know, look, this is what I do. This is the area that I run. This is the area that I control. And this is what I will do for you. But you still got to do. I'm not going to pay for your video. You got to pay for video. I may know a good videographer, but this videographer is going to cost money. You got to get the money together. Now, if we getting the money together, then we need to be partners.
Right.
But if you getting the money together, then I'm going to manage the situation.
Okay.
All right. But COVID doesn't stop the show. For you, you have to generate money other ways, because if you're in it for the long haul with an artist, you're not going to see the revenues that you want to see early unless you're in a partnership. And regardless of which, you and the artist should have ways to generate revenue in the meantime or in the interim, because the music industry can be expensive. Not even can be, it is expensive. It will cost money to do different things and navigate and create opportunities for yourself.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. That's a lot. That gives me a lot to think about, because I've been stuck between a rock and a hard place, just trying to debate what type of role I wanted to play in the music industry since COVID hit, just because it's got a lot of me and one of my artists. We had so many shows booked that kind of fell through because of COVID, and now we can't get the same traction we were getting before.
Were they paid shows? Were they paid shows?
One was, and then one was a competition, the West Coast competition.
Yep.
And then he being entered into that one. It wasn't like a guaranteed pay, but I'm so confident in one of my artists. Well, both of my artists really, but he is so good that I knew he would have won it. It was for $50,000. So,
well, take the time to take this time to perfect another portion of your craft. Because if you're going out there rocking shows and all that, that's important. That's a big part of the game, especially finances from your perspective. However, mastering online marketing is also a part of the game. And so you should take this time to master that. At this time, you should be selling merchandise. You should have come up with creative marketing campaigns and commercials and videos and concepts to get people excited to buy a product that the artist provides, that the artist stands by. Whether that product is merch, which is basically an item that represents the artist, or it's an item that the artist stands behind. You can do a partnership with another company and make money off of selling their product, right? There's so many things that you should be doing creatively to generate money. The question should be, how can I leverage my artist platform to generate money? You know? So I'm not sure how many fans you have, but you have to increase your fan base and sell them product. You know, at the beginner stages, you can get a fan to spend $100 on you a year. You know, they'll buy 3 products a year. So, you know, it's very simple. You have 1,000 fans that buy 100 products a year. You made $100,000 a year. You just put $20,000 in your pocket, and that has nothing to do with show money. I mean, right? So, you know, things to consider. This is a business. How many streams of income does your business have? How much revenue are you generating? Because if you go to negotiate a deal with someone in the future, you want to negotiate from a place of strength. Listen, based off of my numbers, my data, I know for a fact, and I'm not going to go through the whole conversation because it will elongate this conversation, but I know based off of boom, 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 I can put 3,000 people in this building. The capacity is 2,000, right? Either, you know, I can put 2,000 people in here, period. If I can put 2,000 people in here, that means I can generate, you know, $40,000 plus bar, right? So this is how this gonna go. You're gonna pay me 30. You either gonna pay me 25 bands up front, or you're gonna give me the door.
Right.
But when you can play like that, it's different.
Yeah.
Bring the numbers down. Bring the numbers down more realistic. Bring the numbers down. I know I can put 500 people in here, right? No, I can put 500 people in here, $20 a pop. That's 10 bands, right? Mm-hmm. You give me 7 bands to perform, or let me take the door. I'll take the risk, and I'll go out and promote myself. I'll buy flyers. I'll pay the street team. I'll pay the street team and all that shit. Let me work it myself. Matter of fact, I'll buy you out, and I want the bar. How you want to do the deal? Like when you know you have fans, you can do deals however you want to do deals. And the reason you take the short instead of working it yourself is because you don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the work to promote in one city when you can bounce around from 5 cities in the same time period and make more money, right? So, but you know, like this is where you want to be. You want to know that you can move numbers, that you can move people. If you're not at that space, then you got work to do.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I got
you got work to do. So pick a city. Get 100 people in a venue and get 100 people in a venue. Pick 3 cities and move around and try to get 100 people in a venue. Then try to get 200 people. Then try to get 300 people and just work it like that. But right now you can't do that, so focus on online. All right.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Nice talking to you, Nicole. Again, I wish you the best, and hopefully next time we can chat a little bit longer. I'm trying to keep it short so I can chat with as many people as possible, but I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. You have a great rest of your night.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Boom. You gotta love this, man. You gotta, I know I do. I love being able just to reach out to people and have these types of conversations. Just real conversations about the game and how it works. You know, there's different levels to it. I had to stop and realize, okay, what level are we playing at? You know, I've been blessed to be able to play at a couple different levels. Still got levels to go to. Still got many levels to go to. Still a lot to learn from so many other people out there. But while I'm on the way, I appreciate what I've accomplished and how I can share this information with other people and transcend it. You know, I found that, you know, the game is the same. You know, as levels change, there are a couple different variables, but the game is very similar. And you can really translate what you learn at one level to the next. Let's keep it going. I see. Jonathan Leslie, hey FaZe, I've been trying to get in contact with you. Is there a way we can communicate? That's not a question. Well, I guess that is a question. Is there a way we can communicate? Let's call him. Bump it. Let's call him. Let's see what Jonathan has to say. Let's do it.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak to Jonathan?
Who's speaking?
This is Sirr Love from Phase 6.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? This is Jonathan. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
Great, man.
That's
good to hear from you, man.
Hey, man, likewise. Thanks for reaching out. I saw your message, and I had no idea what the question was. I looked at it and said, Jonathan's trying to get in contact with me. I have no idea what Jonathan wants to talk about, but I said, man, let me reach out to this guy. I see you all the way in Ontario, Canada right now, man. How you freezing up there right now, ain't you?
Yeah, man, it's getting kind of cold up here, man. You know, yeah, it is. You know, I grew up in Charlotte. I'm a North Carolina guy and an African guy, so coming up to the cold, I'm not used to this. You know, it gets kind of cold down there later on.
Oh man, you all out your element, guy. Yeesh.
Man,
hey man,
I know, man.
We used to go on tour back in the day, and I used to tell the guys, I'm like, listen, man, I'm not doing no winter tours. Like, I'm not, if summertime only, bro, I'm not going. If you notice, most tours in the summertime, I used to be the guy like, yo, where we going? Yo, drop me off in Texas, bro. I'm flying home from there. I ain't going.
I feel you. Yeah, man. I've been, I used to watch your videos, man. Your videos were really good, man. They're really inspirational, man. And I was like, you know what? I gotta reach out to this guy in some way to see if what other services you do, and just to get your input on certain things. Because go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, services is interesting. My biggest thing is I want to make sure that I'm giving back to as many people as possible and providing, information and assistance. So this is a moment of me giving back, just calling people, answering questions, all the documents I write up and the videos that I do. That's really it. I did a second where I was doing consulting, but honestly, the things that I do in the space that I'm in, I'm not sure if everyone in my audience is really there to work at that level and that capacity. So for me, it's more so, however much I can help in the space that we have, I try to do that. But I am going to be providing services through partners that are going to be coming up, where we're going to be helping people with their publishing paperwork. We're going to be helping people with pretty much everything paperwork. We're going to be rolling out a service through partnerships that I have that's going to allow you to have someone that can make sure that gets taken care of for you. We're going to be rolling out services to help people with their logos and their websites and their graphics, and giving them basic things that they need to get off the ground and successful. And I think that's as far as the services are reaching right now. I've kind of stepped away from solo because my solo bandwidth is already kind of spread thin. But shoot, what's going on, man? What can I help you with? What can we talk about, man? I got about 10 minutes with you right now. I'm trying to figure out how I can get you some game, man.
All right. So pretty much a little bit about myself, man. I was born up here in Montreal. At 5 years old, I moved to Kampala, Uganda. That's in East Africa. And you know, at 10, I went out. I moved out to North Carolina, and then I came back to Africa. Now, with all that, I started a group, a rap group out there in Uganda, and we became pretty big. We've been known for a lot of things, and we've won a few awards. And so, in our city, in our country, or even in East Africa, we're looked at as kind of, you know, some legends. We were the first rap group to be played on MTV in Africa, MTV Base, and you know, we've come a long way. One of our group members at the moment, he continued it after school, and he's one of the top artists in Uganda right now in East Africa as we speak. You know, done songs with R. Kelly, Keith Sweat, you know, Burna Boy was on his last project. Now, I say all that, you know, because, you know, as of recent, Afro music and Afro beats has become somewhat of a genre that's not, you know, picking up within, you know, the Western world.
Yep.
So,
you said it's, wait, time out. You said it's not picking up, or it is picking up?
No, it is.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
And I was kind of ahead of my time, because I came over to Canada, Toronto, a couple years ago, and I was telling everybody, like, dude, everybody, y'all gotta watch out for this kid dude, this Davido dude, and after he was about to pop off, and they were like, nah. And what I saw out here was because Toronto and Canada is so multicultural. You have so many Africans here, Jamaicans here, you know, a couple of people from the States, you know, and I'm well-rounded because I've lived in all of these different areas, and I identify with the cultures, not just visiting, but live there and experience and know these places. So, what our thing is, we've never really had good management or somebody that has to connect and that can help us and guide us in the right way. But we have all the resources. We have a strong brand behind us. We're very well connected. We just need somebody with the right knowledge and the right guidance to say, okay, hey guys, yeah, I can take this material and put it in the right hands. I can get your vision and, you know, see what you guys are doing and be able to put you guys in the right festivals or, you know, this and that, or create tours. Because I've been over here, I stepped out of the music for a little bit, but now I'm starting back my solo career. And, man, I've been out here in Toronto, and I've had certain fans of mine walk up to me like, yo, JB, what are you doing here? Are you guys having a show? And I'm like, oh, shit, I have fans also in Toronto, too.
It's got to be some weird shit.
You know, I'm with my boys and shit, and we're in McDonald's, and Zeus like, she's like, why is that person looking at you like that? And they're like, I don't mean to be rude, but are you J Mall? Are you JB from Sirr Love? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, Joe, what are you doing? Because what's happening is all these East Africans that are migrating over to Canada over the last 8 years know our brand, know our stuff.
So, time out. What's the name of the group?
Go ahead.
What's the name of the group?
The group is called Clear Cut, with 2 Ks. Clear Cut.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, the artist side of the group that's doing pretty good is Navio, Navio, from Uganda. So if you know, check this out. So what I kind of saw, because I was trying to research and figure you didn't put up any videos in a while. I was like, man, how can I reach out to this guy?
Yeah, man, I've been ghost. I've been ghost, bro.
Yeah. And I was like, man, it seems like I saw something that you moved out to the UK. I was like, dang, you got in the UK. I know we got connections out there too, man. I was like, man, hopefully, okay, you might not be doing the videos no more. I don't know if he's managing or what.
Nah, man, I went out to the UK, man. I had this international tour, man, on this tech consultant joint that I was doing. Like I'm in a lot of spaces, man. I'm in entertainment, but I'm also in tech, and I'm in real estate. You know, I dabble to make things connect and make things move. So, but let's talk about your thought process and where you're at. So in short, you was ahead of your time. You had music. You already have an established fan base, and you're trying to figure out how do you restart and reignite your career, right? How do you get to the point where you can benefit off of the change in the culture? You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's an interesting question. So I saw this happen in reggaeton, right? In reggaeton, there was a space in time where cats in America were just kind of getting onto it, right? And it was already popping in the Caribbean, right? And there were some cats that, you know, kind of had to recreate themselves, like Nicky Jams, for example, who's considered like a legend in reggaeton, right? And Nicky Jams is a dude that, you know, would be considered an old head, even though obviously he's not, you know, old dude, but he would be considered an old head in the space because he was ahead, and then the market caught up to him, right?
Right.
And there's other cats. You know, he may not be the best example if you're a person that's a real reggaeton fan. There's other examples, but I say this to say that you got to reignite your career. And one of the ways to do it, and one of the ways he did it, is to go to the market where you're hot, right? For example, he was hot. He was from Puerto Rico, but he found out he was hot in Colombia, so he really went out to Colombia. You know, I had a guy, a close friend of mine, Lagarda, rest in peace, who went out to Colombia from the United States and really did his thing. We used to vibe out in the studio together and go crazy. We used to be in all the same spots here in Atlanta, and his music wasn't hitting here, and the city wasn't ready for it. He went out to Colombia, and boom, there it was. And so, number one, I say you need to go to the environment. If you're really serious about this, you need to figure out where your fan base is hottest, and you need to be there. That's number one, because you can probably hit the ground there. If the following is what you say it is, you should be able to hit there and start getting paid shows immediately. Now, I'm not sure how much he'll be, but you should be able to get paid shows immediately, right? Then, if you have that type of respect, you can start parlaying that into features and collaborations with people that are already hot in that particular region. So you can now kind of ride off the heat that they already have to re-elevate yourself in the space, which may help you parlay to other markets. Right? So, like, strategically, these are some of the things that you may need to be thinking. Also, you got to get yourself back in game performance. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James was like, yo, I'm trying to win a ring. I got to keep my body. I got to keep my mind. I got to keep my energy focused on what it's going to take to win this ring. And if you're ready to get back out there and win the ring, you got to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to get back in the gym. You got to get on the track. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your body right. You got to get back in the studio. You got to get, recording. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you tight. You got to get tight again, right? That's just a part of it. I'm not sure if you're there already, but you got to get tight again. Get back in the marketplace and start working. Start creating records and working your records. If you have an audience, that means you already have people that will buy your merchandise. So when you say, hey man, I need someone that's going to go out here and has the right connections and has the right this and has the right that. No, you don't. You're basically asking for someone to take money from you. Every connection that you make is someone that's going to take money out of your pocket. Again, every connection you make is someone that will take money out of your pocket. So what are you trying to do? You trying to sell merchandise? All right, create your merchandise. You can go to Printful. You can go to Printful online, and you can get some logos, throw it up on there, and drop ship your merchandise to anyone in the world that you want, and start making money off of zero investment right now today. Right? Right now today. Okay, that's drop shipping your personal merchandise, your logo, your name, your intellectual property. Right? Then outside of that, if you're trying to get shows, like I said, if you go back to the regions that you're already popping, only thing you got to do is figure out who's booking shows, who's doing what in the area. Partner with that person, let them pay you to book, because they're going to make money off the door. They're going to cap, right? Yeah. And if not, you can do splits with them because you believe in yourself. You know what you can do in the marketplace. I did a whole piece on that online, the whole booking 101. I break it down. I break down how to find the booking agents, where to go, the venues. Like, it's simple shit. Walking up the flyers. Every flyer that's promoted, typically, they will have the company that's doing the promotions on the flyer somewhere. They can reach out to these people, right? It's small things that you can do to put yourself in a space and become relevant. You don't really need all that assistance, because what you want to do when it's time to get a manager is when you got so much going on that you can't possibly handle it by yourself. You're capable of it, But you can't possibly do it because there's too much happening. That's when you need a manager. That's when you need someone to come in and manage your affairs, because you have so much affairs, you can't handle it yourself, right? Anything before that is hustle, bro. Anything before that's hustle. So it depends on how committed you are, because the plan that I just told you requires you to get on a plane and move. And you might have kids, you might have a family. I'm not sure what your situation is, but like that's what it takes.
You know what? A lot of things that you said actually are in the works. Like you said, collaborating with a big artist over there, finding out where you hot at. And what strategy for me, what I was doing, it's a little bit like, because I was there before, but you know when you're somewhere too long and then you wear out your fame. I guess you're right. So you have to leave for a little bit for them to miss you. Now with leaving there and now coming over here, it's like, okay, JB's going to Canada. Is the hype? Could he have got signed to a label, to Drake, or whatever? You know, it gives him a hype. So when you come back, like, damn, what have you been on? What have you done? Now the rebranding and the excitement and the new energy. Now you can charge even more than what you would have been if I was just still at home. Yeah, but if you're saying that means you're a brand new artist. In Canada, you're a net new artist. You got to get out there and grind. Like, you're at the beginning there. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, you know, it's just regrouping everything. It's coming back and you know, getting the fan base that I already had, and also building a new fan base. So you might as well say, yeah, goddamn right. You starting from the bottom. You pretty much a new artist, right? Yeah. Now because you got the skill set and the knowledge, you know what to do. Like, you just gotta move right. Like, you should know all your fans. Like, you should have a way to contact all your fans. Like, if you don't have that, you got to start there. Email list, Superphone. I use Superphone. I sent the blast out on Superphone today. That's how we're talking right now, right? You know, you should be able to touch everyone that rocks with you, right? Yeah. Period. You do business. They want to shop with you. Like, you should be able to touch everyone that rocks with you, right? So, anyway, no examples, but like, you can touch them at any given time. You can, drift. My head is drifting, like, on things I can tell you, but it's like, yo, for you, start it back. Listen, start it like what you just said. You got to start back from the beginning. You just got to get out there and grind again, because what you're saying is back home, they looking for you to come back with something. And you just gotta do what you gotta do. You said you have another partner in the group that's expanded, done more, do some collabs there, do some collabs here, take some capital. You need capital, obviously, to put behind these records. And look at all the advice that I've given. This podcast is gonna be dropping soon. There's a lot of advice I'm giving to cats like you that are asking marketing questions. Listen to that, take that advice, run with it, and create some success for yourself. Because right now, like, obviously you have the talent. Obviously, whatever it is that's making people rock with you, you already have the it factor. If you're going places and people are like, yo, are you so-and-so? You already got a foundation. You have to revitalize that foundation. Nicky Jams has a whole documentary biopic on Netflix. You should watch it. Just look up Nicky Jams on Netflix. You should watch that. I think that story will help you. Okay. Perfect. Nicky Jams. I got you. Yeah, go watch that. Yeah, right? I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. That's some helpful, even a lot of things that you said, just reevaluate some of the things that I'm doing. Like, okay, you know what, you are on the right path. You're getting it done, and yeah, man. It motivates you to keep going and doing what we're doing. You got it, man. All you got to do is cap. Yeah. You got to cap, not cap as in modern cap, like capping is bullshit, but you got to capitalize. You got to capitalize on what you have. And what I've heard so far sounds like you're not capitalizing. Don't make the same mistake twice. You're in a new market, right? And the only reason you're in this new market, underservicing the market, is because you didn't overservice the market in the first market that you was in, where you had the love. So now learn how to overservice the market in a new market. Learn how to be the super artist that everyone wants to see. How did Beyonce become the greatest? She didn't become the greatest by, giving us lackluster. She on top of her game, and she's still doing the dopest, most creative fucking shit available. You know what I'm saying? That's how you stay on top. She doesn't stop. Everything is dope. Everything is amazing. Push your bar. Go hard. Everything. Right? Collect your fans. Know your fans. Communicate with your fans. Give them what they need. Partner with people. Create relationships. Like, that's what it is. Like, when you have that, you gonna move. It's a time game after that. But shoot,
I do gotta, man. I'll get into the thick of it, but I see where you're going. I really appreciate you supporting us. 2 years in the game, dog. I really appreciate you supporting us. I forget that I've been doing this shit that long. This podcast is going to be released on the same YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a lot of this to support Cat. So tune back in, man. I'm going to be providing this type of information. Of course, you'll be able to hear this interview just in case you want to hear it again. And reach out. This text line is real. It really comes to my phone, and I really try to respond as much as I can. So, reach out.
Okay, bet, man. I will, definitely, man. I appreciate it too, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Take care.
You too, brother.
Wow. That's interesting. That's an interesting situation. Like when I really sit down and think about artists that already have an established fan base and have already done things in the game, it's difficult to recreate yourself when you've already have structure and you've already done so much. Your fans can fall in love with you. They have an expectation of you. They think that you're eating a certain type of way when you're not. They think you're living a certain type of way when you're not. I know so many artists in this situation that are struggling, but they have to look like they're not struggling because of who they are. And if you overstay your welcome and people start seeing you bumming too long, they're like, oh man, he fell off. And then they're like, oh man, he really, really fell off. And after a while, you become a joke. And it's not funny. I know artists, they get the whole has-been tag, right? But not saying that was his situation, but I'm saying I understand that journey of decline if you aren't able to sustain what you're looking to achieve. But the thing about it is, man, if you got that it, you can come back. If you got that it, you can come back. The problem is most people don't have the it. Most people were backed and supported by something else, right? You look at certain artists that were on top. They're like, man, where did they go? What happened? The system left. And when the system left, they left because they were no better than the system that put them in the position that they were in, right? You want to be your own system. You'll never disappear. Ja Rule is a thing of the past, but Tech 9 is still making money. What's up with that? I just put that out there. Anyway, let's keep the vibes going. Who else do we want to reach out to? Let's see if I can get a good question. A lot of questions. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to have to do another session just to go back through all these questions. Some people actually call me back. I'm looking to my license catalog. What is a good licensing company for hip hop and rap? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna save that for the licensing conversation. I see you, Ron Swain. I see you. We're gonna bring that question around because I want to have that question answered by somebody in licensing. I think it'll be a lot doper than if I answer that question because they'll provide so much more insight. I need to make a note to reach back out to Ron. All right, note added. We're going to reach back out to Ron. Sorry for those that want to know that answer. We're going to get back to it. All right, let's keep it going. Question. Ways to build fan base. Don't go there. Jam tonight. What's the best approach? Damn, I need to have someone fielding these questions for me. This is a lot of questions. I'm just going to pick one. What would be the best way to get an artist some PR connections for blogs, radios, and interviews? I like that question. Why not? There's a lot of them, guys. I was going through it. I'm just like, I don't know which one to pick. In the way that the screen is set up, I can only see like the first 5 words. So in the future, when you're sending the question in, make sure your first 5 words are amazing because that's all I got to choose before I open it up. All right, here we go. Let's talk to Alex out of Orlando. What would be the best way to get an artist some PR connections for blogs, radio, interviews, etc.? Let's see what's going on. Here we go. It's not going to happen, Alex. Sorry I was unable to catch up with you. Let's talk about it. Alex Rivera in Orlando. What would be the best way to get an artist some PR connections for blog, radio, and interviews, etc.? I'll tell you this, man. In my personal opinion, the best way to get these connections is a couple different ways. And I need to bring a PR on the show so we can talk about and debunk the game. The PR game is either going to be real or it's going to be a hustle, right? This could be a whole talk by itself if I get with a PR. Who do I want to talk to? I can bring a PR on the show. But from a PR perspective, all right, let's just talk about the PR section first. What would be the best way to get an artist some PR connections? Well, the best way to get an artist PR connections would be to get the artist an actual PR. The thing about getting an artist a PR or signing a public relations specialist to work with your campaign is that you have to have something exciting. You have to have newsworthy information. PRs are going to fall into a couple different categories. A publicist will either, because they all, and listen, as I go into this disclaimer, publicists typically do all of these things, but they normally are Michael Jordan in one area and, you know, whatever in another area, right? But a publicist will either be a person that can get you into a lot of exclusive events. They know all the events. They know the other publicists that throw the events. They have good relationships with all the venues, etc., etc. They know everybody. They can get you in events. They can get you in events in multiple cities. They can take you to New York. They can take you to LA, take you to Atlanta, Houston, whatever, and Nashville, and they can get you into events. You want to go to the Grammys? You're there for Grammy weekend? I got you. You know, you're there for the VMAs? I got you. You're just in town for the weekend? I got you, right? Publicists are great for events, and those type of connections are not just blogs, radios, and interviews, right? Publicists can also be blog focused. They have great relationships with all of the blogs. They know all of the bloggers. They can get you on. They typically do it by paying to get you on. They can get you on for a discount because they have such a great relationship. They send that blog so much business. They can get you on. However, a lot of times those posts, if it's not at the right payment scale, it could be on some unknown random page that never gets promotion. You'll be on Fader, but you won't be on the homepage in Fader. You'll be on some random page that you can't even find from the homepage. So you gotta be careful with that as well. But there are publicists that focus on the blogging aspect, on the online magazine blog space, even though we all know that space is in a decline, right? You also have bloggers that have really good relationships with social media. They focus on, various different social media influencers, and they can get you on they can get various social media influencers to support you. That's a completely different lane and form of connection. Publicists, you also have publicists that are really good at radio, but at the end of the day, if you want to work radio, you want to go to a radio plugger. You want to go to someone who spends all of their time dealing with program directors and dealing with the goons in the alley that work with the program directors to ensure that you get the proper placement that you need for the proper price that you want to get it at, right? That's a completely different model. Publicists don't necessarily, they'll help you do interviews. Like if you want to do a media run and hit a bunch of different radio stations just to talk, there are publicists that can specialize in that, but they don't necessarily do the radio spins perspective. So radio interviews, if that's what you're asking, I think that is what you're asking. Yes. All right. So now that you know that there's different types of publicists, next thing I want you to know is that when it comes to publicity, right, a publicist is only as good as the content they have. So if you don't have good content, you don't have good pictures, you don't have good videos, you don't have good music, you don't have good anything, the publicist cannot turn, mud into magic. This is not, bibbidi bobbidi boo, the grandmother from Cinderella. Like, she's not turning your pumpkin into a chariot. There's no magic that's going to happen. Only thing you can do is pay to get exposure in a non-exposed environment that makes you feel good, but doesn't necessarily get you the exposure that you need. In order to leverage a publicist's connections correctly and properly, you need to make sure that you have some excitement around you, that you have done the proper things as an artist to create a buzz. The publicist is not going to come and create the buzz for you. A publicist magnifies what is already there. Your marketing team must figure out what the hell the focus is, what the story is, what's going on. What are we highlighting? What's the drama? What's the reason to watch? What's the eye-catching, eye-appealing thing that's going to make people stop and say, really? People that don't know you, what's going to make them stop and say, really? It's not going to be your name. It's not going to be your song title. It's not going to be these things. No one knows who you are. See, if your marketing does a great job of positioning your product and telling your story, then your publicist can do a great job of expanding it, right? Example, it's not really hard for a marketer to say, hey, his name is 50 Cent. He got shot 9 times and he survived. At the same time, everyone that shot him is after him. They're trying to kill him. He's a dead man walking. Will he live or will he die? Check out his album, Get Rich or Die Trying. That's a very appealing story. It's very hard not to sell 10 million records with a story like that. He got shot how many times? He survived? Guess what? The marketing people decide how we're going to position it. The publicist tells every magazine, television show, radio show in the world. They all talk about it too. They magnify what's there. So when you ask about PR connections, you're asking about magnification. And if you want those connections, you need to actually hire a publicist. If you hire a publicist for a short period of time because your budget is not where you want it to be, you will likely get duped out of your money. You will not get the value that you expect or the value that you've seen them produce for others. If you work with a publicist, you need to be prepared to pay for at least 6 months, a minimum 3. But at 3, they can still weasel you. So you want to be in a place where you're paying for 6 months, a year. You want a long-term relationship because they're going to go hard the first couple months and then it's going to dissipate and they're going to push back on you and say, well, you're not giving me what I need to be successful. And you have to have a long-term relationship that has them vested in helping you through the downside. Like if your marketing campaign does not work and you paid them for 3 months, they'll say, well, I tried for 3 months and it's over. But if you're paying them for a year, they're not going to want to lose that check. They're going to be in the room with you trying to figure out, how do we get this thing back up and running? Because I need to pay my rent next month, right? That's the real. That's the real. So when you're thinking about publicity connections and how to navigate and how to work it, these are things to think about. Now, there's also an opportunity for you to do this by yourself. Again, do this by yourself, right? You can go online right now and start reaching out to small blogs, unknown blogs. I'll tell you this, go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, go to Tidal, find everyone that is similar to you. This is real game I'm giving you right now. You'll put some horns or something in the background. This is real game I'm giving you right now. Find every artist that is similar to you. I did this myself. It changed everything. I did this method. I don't even know if I should tell this shit. Fuck it. Let's do it. I use this methodology right here, and we started getting paid shows off of this methodology right here. Right? I'm giving it to you. I'm just going to give it to you. Right? What do? You go online. You find every artist that is similar to you. All right? Then you go search that artist on Google. You go deep into the pages of Google. Not just page 1, page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those deeper pages that you never go to. Right? Go deep into Google. And when you get there, I want you to find every single blog, every single online magazine, everything that has ever written anything about the artist that's similar to you. And I want you to reach out to them. I want you to create a list, write down the name of the magazines and the number, the person, write down all that information. I want you to then reach out to them individually, send an individual email to every last one of them. Or put them all on the BCC on your Gmail and send a blast of your press kit and your bio and tell them everything that is about you. If you find 100 of these cats, 100 of these blogs, and you get 10 of them to post you, great. After those 10 post you, take those 10 articles and send it to the other 90 and tell them what the hell is going on and get them to post you too. Because data and information bubbles up. And if you can get all the little tiny blogs to post you, then the blogs a little bit bigger than them will go, oh, who is this person? Because they're watching the blog smaller than them. Everyone at the top is watching who is underneath them, because when you get to the top, you get disconnected from the bottom. And the people are at the bottom. The people that you're servicing your music to are at the bottom. They are in the club. You're not in the club no more. You're 5 steps removed from the club because you're a boss now. You don't go to the club anymore, right? Not in that capacity. You're not in there every night sweating, drinking $5 drink specials. You ain't doing that no more. You don't know what's hot, right? You're separated. So the higher you get, the more you have to constantly look down on the people below you to figure out what's hot and what's relevant so you can stay relevant. So if you start at the bottom and you can get some buzz at the bottom, there's someone above that will repost you because, repost is not a social media post, but will redo another ad on you because they don't want to be out the loop. They'll see 5 little blogs doing it and say, I need to do it too. The next thing you know, someone above them will say, oh man, if they're doing it, I need to do it too. The next thing you know, the person above them is saying, if they need to do it, I need to do it too. This happens not only in entertainment, this happens in media, this happens in products, this happens in IT, this happens in every industry, because the media world is in a space now where they don't validate information anymore, right? The whole fake news thing is really real. We're in a space where now every news companies are competing for clicks and they never want to be irrelevant. So if you bust your ass at the bottom, you can work your way to the top. right? So when you ask me, what do I need for publicity connections? You need a laptop and with Google access, so you need internet, and you need a comparison. You need to know what artists are similar to you. So you can go to Spotify to find that out, Tidal, Apple Music, etc. Right? That's what you need. That's real game. Alright, I got that off. That was a little rant. Now that that's done, I don't want to end the show. I hope that was helpful, Alex, whenever you listen to this. I hope that was helpful, but I don't want to end the show with me just having a rant, even though I feel like that was gold. That was some real shit. But I want to end it with me having a conversation. So who else is out here? Where would you suggest live bands go to switch into the COVID economy? I just kind of talked about that. I don't want to talk about that again. So Elaine Emanuel, you can definitely check out the show and get that information. Tree Life. With current Instagram algorithms, what's the best way to gain genuine followers? I think that's a great conversation. I'm not a social media expert, but I want to have that conversation with Tree Life. Let me talk to Tree.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak to Tree?
Hello?
Yes, may I speak to Tree?
Speaking.
What's going on, Tree? This is Sirr Love from Phase 6. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother? I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I am super solid, my guy. I am sitting here reaching out. You saw I sent the blast out. I appreciate you for sending a question in. I had a lot of questions come in, and you are the last question of today's show, my guy.
Oh, that's dope.
So I said, let me see what Tree Life. So you in LA right now, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, bet. So your question, and hold up, I got this thing blocking it. You were basically asking what is the man, I got it blocked. Hold up. Let me find your question again. Unless you remember it. Hold up. Here we go. Tree Life. Yep. With current Instagram algorithms, what's the best way to gain genuine followers? Tree, tell me what got you thinking like this in the first place.
Actually, earlier I was watching a video popped up on my feed when I was on YouTube because I was selling some stuff on IG, and it was talking about how to gain 2,000 followers in 60 days. And so I was like, all right, that's interesting. So I was listening to some of the stuff that the guy was saying in the video in order to garner followers. And it was a lot of work and a lot of time. And I'm just like, man, like with the algorithms and stuff, how things work now. And if you start going to people's pages and starting to comment on people's page and it's not really genuine, I don't really see how that gets you genuine followers. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand how that would transfer over.
So I'll tell you this. You look at my social right now, you barely see any followers, right? I'm not a big social guy. I'm very familiar with the game. For example, my wife is a social media manager for Tyler Perry Studios, right?
Okay.
And so she runs the accounts, right? When you go and look at Tyler Perry and Madea and all that type of stuff, all that's her, right? And then I have other friends that do social media for Twitter and Facebook and all these other platforms. And so very familiar with the tactics. I'm very aware of what's required. Me personally, it's not something that I wanted to attack. There's a lot of value there, but it's not something that I personally wanted to attack. But I will tell you this for you, because I do know a lot of it. So I did have to do this with artists and clients that I had to work with. So here's what I give you. If you want to build genuine, your keyword was genuine followers. And this is, what is it that you provide? Because it says graphic designer on a tag. The way you signed up on Superphone says graphic designer. Are you a graphic designer? Are you an artist? What are you?
I'm a graphic designer and an artist. Like I was working, my day job was like graphic design stuff. And then like I got a clothing line. And then I do my music stuff too. So I kind of like combine everything together to provide a different experience for people.
Bet. All right. So here's the thing. If you're a genuine artist, right? If you're trying to genuine artist, creative person, graphic person, t-shirts, fashion, all these are creative, artistic spaces, right? What's going to make people stick is the fact that they like what you do. It's that simple. The reason that, you know, I guess you must have ran across one of my YouTube videos at one point in time. The reason you decided to send me a text message is because you liked what I did. You felt like, oh man, this dude gave me value. I walked away from that value with something, and I want to be a part of this. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to send a text message. I'm going to be like, yo, I like what this guy's doing. I provided value, right? I provided value to you. In exchange, you wanted to be involved in what I'm doing. And even now, I'm providing more value to you, which would hopefully in turn make you want to tell other people, like, yo, this is Guy. Yo, you should follow him too, right? That's what it takes to get genuine love from people. At the basic fundamental level, that's what it takes. It's you being able to add value to people's lives. Now, as you can see on social, what is really trending is comedians, right? Comedians are really popping on social, right? People that do dances and things of that nature. Why? Because entertainment is immediate value to a person, right? My day is fucked up. I'm stressed. I'm going through something. Please make me laugh. Oh, great. There's someone here that can make me laugh. Follow. You added value to my life right now because my boss is getting on my fucking nerves, right? That's what's happening. It's a value exchange. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, how do you add value to your audience? If you haven't figured that out from a content perspective, you need to be tweaking your content. If you're serious about social media, you have to figure out, what is it that people that support me want to see from me? How can I help them in their life? What can I do to make their life better? You're a graphic designer. What type of graphics do I need to create visually that will make people feel happy or warm or fuzzy or thought-provoking? Like, what is your brand? Are you a person that does thought-provoking things, funny things, abstract things? Like, you have to figure that out. Like, where do I want to sit? You may already know that, but where do I want to sit? And then how do I create content that will make people really want to explore more of that? Right? There's a guy that I follow that does nothing but like motion graphic tricks, and he looks like a damn near magician online because he's just doing motion graphic shit and camera tricks all day. And I love watching it. I love watching him do weird, crazy stuff, right? And that's it makes my day better. So what are you doing from a content perspective to add more value to the people that are watching you? That's number one. Number two, now that you are adding this exceptional value, right? Now that you're adding this exceptional value, the question becomes, how many people are exposed to the value that you are adding, right? This is where you get into a question of scalability. So how do you get scale? A couple ways to get scales. You can do contests and ask people to bring other people around. You can run ads, get other people to see you, right? You can physically go out places and make sure that you're very vocal about your tags and handles. You can take the approach of commenting on other people's pages, and everything you just learned is probably 100% valid. But what makes it valid is that when they land on your page, you just said it's not authentic if I just make if I make a random comment on your page, it doesn't mean anything. That's true. Right. But if you like 10 pictures, because I've seen that type of shit, like 10 pictures, comment on 3 pictures, and say this, that, and the third about them, and then you do all that just for them to look at you. You do all of that for one impression. If you pay, you can pay for impressions. But if you don't have the money and you don't want to pay, then you have to do the work. In this world, right, money is very simple. We pay for things that we either A, don't know how to do, or B, don't want to do. Right? So if you don't want to like 10 pictures and write on 3 comments for 10,000 people a day, then pay. But if you don't want to pay, then you got to do the work.
That's true.
Right?
Okay.
There's no way around it. Like, you don't got to do that shit. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking work. Like, you got shit to do with your life. I ain't got time to sit here on my phone 5 hours doing this bullshit. That's how you feel? Pay. Right. If you don't want to pay, then you got to do it. Right? Is that all right? So boom, that's that. All right. And when you do that, the key is that people that see you, they go, wow, he's adding a lot of value. Like, he's doing things that I like. You like 10 of my pictures. You commented on me. Let me at least see who you are. Now I click and see who you are. I go through your page and I go, wow, I like this guy. Follow. And it is genuine. But before you do all that work, make sure your content is really hitting. Make sure you are adding the type of value that your audience wants to see. And the value that your audience might want to see may not even be the type of value that you want to present, which becomes a whole nother, psychological challenge that you have to undergo. Because what you want to promote may not be what everyone wants from you. This is business. Right. It ain't sell what you want. It's sell what the people want. Right. Which is another challenge that we go through as creatives. Like, I know, you know what I know my audience wants to see? I know my audience wants to see me talk about celebrity shit. I know for sure. Mm-hmm. They're like, man, I love to hear Sirr Love talk about some fucking drama on his perspective.
Okay.
I hate that shit. I worked on Love and Hip Hop. I hated all that catty drama shit. I had to leave that show. It drove me fucking crazy. I hate that type of shit, right? But I do know the value that brings to the market. I'm aware of it. I know. Man, if I sit here and do this, that, and the third, I can get 1 million followers, right? I'm aware, right? It's a choice. So as you're making your choice, you're navigating. If you're choosing that you want mad social media followers and this, that, and the third, then you need to figure out how to add value. It may not be aligned with your vision as an artist, but if that's your goal, then pursue it. If your goals are different, then pursue that. But if you ask for genuine followers, bro, that's genuine.
No doubt. Because, I mean, it's been growing, but it grows at its own pace, and I'm not the type of person that can post all the time, because I'm constantly creating stuff. So I can't be on the phone all the time because I'm actually doing that work. So yeah, it's just like a constant balance, and it gets tiring because I don't like social media like that. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person that want to be on that all day. I'd rather interact with somebody in person or talk to them.
Well, here's my question. I have 2 questions for you. I'm going to ask the simple one first. The simple question is, are you using social media software to help you automatically post?
No, I'm not.
All right, you should look at that. And my wife is upstairs. I would ask her. It's like 4 different softwares that she uses, right? And she preloads all of her content. So like earlier today, her and the whole team, was upstairs in our house creating content, right? And they'll create content for like a month out. Have it preloaded on when it's going to drop. And then it drops regularly. And they're checking the data on it. And then from time to time, they add to it. Like they'll do the framework. They know 30 days out, it's going to look like this. But a week out from that point, they might detail it, add more stuff, add more content, do more this, find out what's real, like what's happening, how people are responding, like posts, things of that nature. Like they have it strategically lined up because they have work to do. They don't just stare at their phones all day. They got other initiatives, and they got to go on tour. They do all sorts of stuff. Like they got a whole Tyler got a whole COVID lockdown bubble that he's created to shoot his films in. She got to go to that, so it's a lot. And so how they got a lot too. So how do they do it? You should be doing the same thing. You need to be leveraging these apps. These apps cost money. You have to pay $30 a month, whatever. But if this is what you want to do and you're invested in it, then go for it.
Right.
And so, I'm answering the question this way because you said, mind you, you said genuine. Because I could tell y'all how to go out here and buy some followers too, but you said genuine. And this is genuine always comes down to value.
The thing is, I know people that got a lot of followers, and then like when they have a show, not a lot of people show up. You know what I mean? When I have a show, I have like 100, 150 people showing up to my show. So I would rather have people that I know is really there because they really enjoy what I'm doing. I don't just want to buy random people.
I 100% agree. You got the right philosophy because long term, you make more money. Like, there's people that look famous, but they're broke. And there's people that look broke. And there's people that are not famous that are like making money. They look like they're not famous that are making a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of fans to make a lot of money. And I think people really get that screwed, right? Even you can start selling your prints, right? Your merchandise game is going to be crazy because you do graphics, right? Like there's a lot that you can do. You want real fans. You want fans that love your art. You might be a merchandise based artist. Like, hey, you can come out with a new piece every week and say this is the collection of the week. And you might have fans just chasing your shit like Jordan. You create the culture you want to create. So it's you got to figure it out in reference to how you want to navigate. But I do think genuine fans or followers is what you're looking for. But you need to really figure out how your content is going to add value to someone's life. Like, I don't know you. I should go to your page and go, damn, this is dope, and want to follow you just because I like the graphics you put out there. I don't even know you fucking do music. you might not even have your face in the shit. You might just have the graphic and it's so dope, or the motion graphic, or whatever you've created is so dope, or the message or whatever. It's art. Like, people love art. We've been loving art for years. It's so dope. And there's just music playing in the background. I'm like, damn, what the fuck is that song? I don't even know the song, but this art is dope. Like, what does this mean? Right. And the next thing you know, I'm sharing it. Like, yo, look at this. This is deep. You know? Because it means something to me, because you added so much value to me that I want to tell other people that this is how I feel. Look at this person's perspective. I agree with this perspective. I want to share this perspective because I feel this perspective is special and no one else may have the same perspective. And I want other people to know that I'm this thoughtful, or this funny, or this deep, or this romantic, or this, you know, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, whatever.
That's why people share shit. I want you to know that I agree with this message, so that you can see me in the light of this message. It's all psychology. Like, it's like these young dudes I follow that's doing love messages all the time. Oh, if your man don't do this to you, then he must not love you. Why you posting that? Because you out here thirst trapping, bro. You thirst trapping. Why you posting that? Why you reposting that, bro? You know?
Yeah, I hate that.
Someone gonna repost your shit. You know, there's women out here reposting, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't text you good morning, then he wasn't thinking about you last night. No. Right. But they're trying to deliver a message that, you know, this is what I expect of the man. So if you're a man that's watching me and that's stalking me online and you want to talk, know that when you reach out to me, you need to be texting me good morning in the morning. Right. So when I repost your graphic images, I want to feel some type of way. Like, that's what that's about.
Right.
So go out there and get some genuine fans, man.
No doubt, bro. No doubt. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, likewise, man. I appreciate you being my last guest on the show today, man. Make sure you and everyone else that you know that you talk to, you know, make sure you know they go to www.phasevi.com. Check us out and stay tuned, because the YouTube channel is getting ready to drop with all these podcasts. You'll be able to hear this episode and re-listen to it back again shortly on the website. So I appreciate your energy, my guy.
I got you, man, and I will do that. I appreciate your energy as well. You take care, bro,
right.
And I'll stay tapping in.
All right, appreciate it. One. Yeah, there it is. I'm feeling good. Feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. How are you? It's your guy, Sirr Love. Listen, if you enjoyed the show today, please send a text message to 404-442-4792. Again, 404-442-4792. You don't got to do anything special, but send me a message. Make sure you lock your information in so that when I call you, I know who I'm calling, what we're talking about, right? And send a question. You do not have to wait for me to do a blast to send a question, right? You do not have to wait. I prefer you just send your questions in. That way, when I'm scrolling down, I can find them. I'll probably go to the earliest message. So I'm going to try to touch everybody and get as many messages delivered and questions answered as possible. I really want to say thank you to everyone that supports the channel, that, you know, tapped in today and listened to this episode, that learned something today. I hope you got something out of this episode. I hope it was exciting. I hope it took you to where you wanted to be. I hope it motivated you. I hope it affected you. This is real talk, real life, real energy with real people. And I appreciate you guys for joining me right here on Chasing Greatness. Listen, guys, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm always trying to give you all everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Please go to www.phasevi.com. Learn more information. Support yourself. Support us. Let's continue to grow together. Let me know about your journey. I'm Sirr Love. I'm out.
On to face it. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love.
Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, I said real talk. I said real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase.
With Sirr Love.